So y'all, my friend's grandkids constantly take her tumblers and she's had enough. So guess what? I am going to make them their own tumblers for this upcoming school year. And well, these already look done, right? All right, y'all, we're ready to get into today's project. If this is your first time here, I'm Patrice. Thank you for being here. Please check out the other content. And if you enjoy that content, please be sure to hit the subscribe button and also make sure to hit the thumbs up on those videos for my returning subscribers and members. Hey, y'all, welcome back. So today we are going to be making some tumblers for my friend's grandkids. So she's had enough, y'all. And so I'm going to make them their own personalized tumblers. But guess what? I have these two tumblers here that I subbed, and I did sublimation on these tumblers. These tumblers have a coating on them. They're specifically for sublimation. I will have a link listed above or below with the link to the video that shows how I subbed these tumblers. But we are going to pull out our Xtool P2, which is a CO2 55 watt laser. And we are going to see if we can laser on top of the sublimation and see how that's going to turn out. So let's get started, y'all. All right, y'all, so today we're going to be using the rotary attachment, and this is the RA2 Pro. We will be using the rollers. There are several different attachments that you could also attach to this for different shaped tumblers and glassware and cups. But today we're just going to be using the rollers because we're going to be engraving on a straight tumbler. All right, and so this is the cord that will connect it. Usually this is not a part of the machine. You will use your laser without it unless you need to engrave on cylindrical items, right? So here we have the cord, and I just attach the cord here and plug it into the machine right here. This cord, because I've had this already, this is the same rotary attachment that you would use with the D1 and the M1. So if you already have an RA2 Pro, you don't need to purchase another one. But because I had it very early on, it did not come with this cord. So this cord was extra for us to be able to attach it to the P2. You always want to make sure you have it aligned properly and have your attachments in securely. I already went ahead and removed the slats that are usually here on the machine. If you guys have seen my other videos or other videos of the P2, you guys know that these are the slats that are lined across, and that kind of provides the stable area for your wood, acrylic, or whatever it is that you're going to be doing. I also moved the plate. So at the bottom here, I'm able to slide this plate out. This is the same plate that is here at the top. If you're going to remove that plate, you will have to unscrew it. There is a little screw that goes there that keeps it intact. I just got rid of the screw. I don't really need it. If you feel more comfortable with it in, then I would suggest leaving it, putting it back once you bring it back up to the top. But when you're using the rotary attachment, you will have to move it down a bit. When using the rotary attachment, you may have to lower this tray depending on the size of your item that you're going to be engraving. So you always want to make sure that you take proper measurements, because if not, your laser will not be able to focus on the item and you won't be able to properly cut or engrave it. And that can be very dangerous if it's not in the correct position. So we just went ahead. I probably brought this down maybe 2 notches, and this is perfect for our tumbler that we're going to be doing today. All right, y'all, so we're at our Xtool P2, and we already have our tumbler inside. We are going to be using this tumbler that I subbed, and I wasn't all that thrilled with the seam there. And so I want to try engraving a name on top of the seam just to see how that will look. So We're going to place this inside. And positioning is very important when you're doing this, and also make sure that you have your tray. So what I did was I removed the tray that's when you're using the slats. I removed that tray that's kind of a little further pushed up to make room for the rotary attachment. And so I removed that and I put it down here into one of the slots at the bottom. So our red dot is at the highest point of the tumbler. Alright, so we've already set this to start inside of Xtool Creative Space, and we just have to click our start button. Machine locked. Alright guys, so that took about 8 minutes. And we need to clean off all that dust. But if you notice, I don't know how I had it aligned in the software, but I must have had it aligned and correct. But I need to check that out because it really should have started over a little bit and I had a heart over here. So we're gonna check it out, and I have another tumbler to play around with. Of course, Camille's still gonna hit this. So let's clean this out. Alright guys, so you can either run this under water or you can just clean it with an alcohol wipe. I would still suggest running it under water just to make sure you get all that dust off. Just cleaned off our engraved area, and I like how it looks. Now if you want to increase the power, you can, so that you can get a little deeper engrave. This is more of a surface engrave, but y'all, I absolutely love how it came out. I really do wish that I would have centered it, but I think the issue came when I opened the lid back to make sure that our red dot was in the correct area, and I did not adjust it after that. So anytime you open that lid, you always have to make sure that you check back in the software to make sure everything is correct. You want to refresh that screen to make sure everything is correct. But I actually like how this came out, y'all. This looks cute. I can possibly also add a few more hearts or stars or something just to kind of keep it going, but okay y'all, so in order for us to be able to get this to engrave onto our tumblers, you need to make sure that you change the function of your machine. So you want to change it to laser cylindrical over on the right side. Okay y'all, so now we're inside of Xtool Creative Space, and we're just going to be putting a name on a tumbler. It's a sublimation tumbler. It has already been subbed, and I just want to place a name on top. And so what we're going to do is we're going to head over to the left, and we're going to select text, and I am going to type in the text box over here on the right side, Michaela. Okay, and once I type the name is going to appear somewhere on the screen. So I'm just going to drag it over beyond the canvas. Now we can change the font style, and these are Xtool selected fonts, and we are going to go with Gorditas. Now if you keep scrolling down, you'll find the other fonts that you have on your hard drive, so you can use those as well, but we're going to go with Gorditas. I actually like that font in Creative Space, and I also like the Lifesavers font a lot. Alright, so I'm just going to stretch it out a bit, and then I am going to select Engrave over on Processing Type so that it can fill it in. And now that's just letting the software know that we are going to be engraving this text. Now, While we're on the screen, I am going to head over to our P2 and place the tumbler on our rotary attachment. And we're going to be using the rollers. Alright guys, so we're going to refresh our screen so that the tumbler will come up now. There it is. Alright guys, so we're going to move the name down and then we're going to start positioning it on the tumbler so that it'll help us with the alignment and making sure everything is where it needs to be.
Now I'm going to continue designing the text how I want it to be. I did move the green line to the very edge of the actual tumbler, and I really love that they have the camera very clear so you can see what you're doing. And I'm just making sure that this is going to align exactly the way I want it to, and I'm adjusting the power settings for different parts of the design. So I also created some hearts, and I'm going to play around with the settings. I went from a power of 15 to a power of 60, and then I also used a power of 45 for one of the hearts, just so that you can see the different shades of engraving and the importance of adjusting your settings. So I would recommend testing some of your settings out, getting a piece of stainless steel or something like that you can also test out and make sure that you're going to get the type of engrave that you really want.
Alright guys, so it's all done and there's a whole lot of soot on here as we see. But I did try to do different power settings to engrave it, and so we're just gonna kind of clean that off, and then that way we can see the different engraving. So this was with the power of 15, this was with the power of 50, and I think the heart on the left was a power of 60 possibly. It kind of looks the same as 50, but I think it was a power of 60. Yeah, so I think I got to clean that out a little bit more. Yeah, that just needs to be cleaned a lot more. There's a lot of soot in there. Just cleaning this off, and running it underwater works as well. A little dish detergent. Alright, so if you see like that 60 really got deep, the 50 pretty good, but the 60 really went deep. So that can be cleaned out even more. And then we have this side. So if you increase your power settings, you can go from this to this.
Alright y'all, so we are all done, and y'all saw these came out really good. Well, Michaela came out a lot better. Camille, I didn't have that lined up, but still, they look amazing. They engraved beautifully, and this is something that I would definitely consider doing more of, especially if I have tumblers that I might have messed up on a little bit something, and then I think that engraving on top would totally make and save, really, they would totally save those tumblers. So I wouldn't feel the need to discard them. I would still feel confident in giving them away as gifts. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to click the thumbs up. Also, if you are not yet a subscriber, please consider subscribing to my channel, check out the other content, and if you enjoyed that content, you are welcome here. Also, head over to Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok and join the Craftable Things communities there as well. But that's it for today, y'all. Thank you all so much for watching. Until next time.